Good afternoon. At least it's afternoon in Southeast Virginia, where it's a beautiful day, 80 degrees, sunny. The flowers and trees and the geese and the ducks and the turtles that I view don't seem too concerned about what's going on around the world. But we are concerned, and so this is the second of a two-part presentation, Managing Conflict in Crowded Quarters. This will be the last Facebook Live on this topic that I'm going to do on this page. You're on the Paul Van Valen page. I'm hoping that early next week we will have built the Coping with Stress with Dr. Paul and Becky Van Valen Facebook group, and so I'm going to invite all my friends into that. You all will be welcome to invite all your friends into that. If people want to exclude themselves, they will. But it's going to continue some of this theme, but just so that page will just be about coping with stress. So that's coming up next week. I'll also be with Calvary Revival's Facebook page with Bishop Courtney McBath. We are planning a series of conversations directed predominantly to pastors, but I'm sure they'll have relevance to the rest of the world as well. So that's what's going on. Yesterday I talked about managing conflict through paying attention to the intensity, the duration, and the frequency of your conflicts, with taking time out and backing away, as well as a problem-solving method called brainstorming. Today I want to focus on some more specifics that will support those concepts. So there needs to be in our homes and networks today a lot of grace and forgiveness. Quick to give grace, which is undeserved favor. You don't deserve this, but I'm going to give it to you. It's not that you've earned it, it's that I'm giving it to you. You've all heard about unconditional love, which was giving positive regard to people, whether they deserve it or not. I don't buy that. If you read the Bible, it's very clear that there are conditions in which one is cut off. We are instructed sometimes to put strong boundaries around people. What is clear to me is positional love. Positional love exists for those that have a position that doesn't change. We can count on that. My children have a position in my life, and whether I approve or disapprove of their behavior, I will extend grace to them, I will love them, I will care for them, I will sacrifice for them because they're my children. My wife has the same benefit. We all as children of God have the same benefit and grace from God. Though we have earned his disfavor, he will not harm us. So that's positional love. I reject unconditional love. I absolutely know there are people that do conditional love. That's very clear. But I prefer this concept of positional love. And so those in position with me are going to get unmerited favor. They're going to get easy forgiveness, and they're going to get quick to forgive when I'm in my right mind, as I hope you all are moving in that direction as well. So self-knowledge is very important for self-regulation. How well do you know yourself? Do you know when you are likely to be irritable? Do you know how to manage yourself? Knowing others is also critical. If you're in close quarters, what do I know that will irritate or bother those around me? My wife and I clearly know how to irritate each other. We now have my middle son, Jeremy, with us for a short time. And we all are pretty expressive people, sometimes impulsive of speech. We have to be guarded in what we say and do if we are aware of what would be offensive or stir up problems in the home with others. So self-awareness, other awareness, and then drawing close to God with God awareness so we manifest the fruit of the Spirit. So offer grace freely. Use the 20% grace discount. What is the 20% grace discount? Something I made up a long time ago. When tough stuff is going on, as it is now, if someone says something to me that is I could perceive as critical, I'm going to take 20% off the top and discard it, not respond to it. Just ignore it. So give everybody a 20% grace discount all the time these days. So you also want to have some rules about conflict, criticism, complaint, and judgment. So one of the rules is no double jeopardy. Don't try someone twice for the same crime. Let it go. Don't bring up the past. Along the same line is have a clear statute of limitations. If you find yourself wanting to grumble about something that happened 6 months ago, let it go. It's beyond the statute of limitations. Stay present. Back to Ephesians 4, each one put away lying, speak truth one to another, which means you need to speak up. We have to be able to correct, to teach, sometimes to discipline, but don't let the sun go down in your wrath. Don't give the devil a foothold. So another tip is to pray every day. This is kind of a no-brainer for those of you that really practice spiritual disciplines, but these are targeted prayers, consistent with what Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount. bless your enemies, pray for those who love your enemies, pray for those who despitefully use you. So the two-word prayer that I pray every day is bless Becky, she's my wife, bless Jeremy, he's my son. And there may be other people on that list that come to mind. Just a simple prayer, bless, bless, bless. The second one is what is required of me, though. It requires action on my part. Show me how to bless Becky. Show me how to bless Jeremy. If you start your day with this kind of mindset, you're inviting God to help you manifest the fruit of the Spirit. So praying simple prayers like this, keeping ourselves focused. What is my purpose? I, as the oldest adult male in this household, what is my purpose? What is my call? And it is not to incite criticism, conflict. It is to be a peacemaker, at times to confront, but in loving ways. And I may do another post on that sometime. So all these elements I'm talking about, extremely useful. I teach couples to practice what we call safety days. While you are learning how to listen with empathy, I'm referring to other posts now. Listen with empathy in the face of emotional expression. You need to discipline yourself. This is not natural. It is natural to be self-defensive, to attack when attacked. It is not natural to go lower and slower when everybody else is going higher and faster. So how do you discipline that? We call it safety days. And you can practice this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The husband, I'm going to use couple metaphor, but it may not apply to your household. But if there are two, you can mix it up. So I'm going to stick with my usual speech. Husband is the listener on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The wife is the listener Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. You figure it out. So Becky and I practiced this for 90 days in 1989. So it's been a long time ago that we worked on this. And I would begin each day reminding myself it's Monday, I am the listener. So what the listener does, the listener doesn't get to whine or complain, particularly about the party that you're referring to, in this case, my wife. So the listener just prepares. I'm going to listen with empathy. Whatever she feels or thinks, I'm going to be here for her. And so again, you're preparing yourself to be a blessing in a presence of calm and peace in the face of a potential storm. On Tuesday, Becky would discipline herself to listen. And you'll find if you practice this in your home that you have different styles. I tend to put things in little blocks and kind of stick with it. Becky's very expressive, very articulate. And so she may have done it with me, I just don't remember. But I remember on more than one occasion, it would be Tuesday, and she would come at me with, not inappropriately come at me, but just, be expressing something negative. And I would say, I'm sorry, it's not your day. And she would pull it in and we'd work it. So we encourage one another to love and good works by sometimes gentle correction. But really, after 90 days of doing this, it had become a habit. I mean, the ability to face negative emotion and to receive it with calm, with empathy, is just extremely powerful. So just in summary, I'm suggesting that you practice buckets of grace. Use the 20% grace discount right off the top. Let it go. Pray every day to bless those around you and show me, Lord, how to bless them. And you can teach this to your children. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, count your blessings, name them one by one. So you can weave in probably more contemporary songs with your children. I mean, I'm really old, but you can bring in lighthearted ways of teaching your children, your teens, and if you're who knows, I don't know who you're all living with, but if everybody in the household practices these things, you will definitely have a calmer and more peaceful household. Safety days can be practiced in any number of ways, and one of the things that's just really useful is to intentionally speak blessing, speak encouragement into each other. A very useful, a whole lot more people now are sharing meals. Turn the TV off. Actually let yourself be together and converse. Teach the young people how to converse, how to behave in a social context. And take a moment and just bless each other. Just simply praise. This was really good today. I really like this. I admire this. We never get tired of hearing, I'm proud of you. And one of the keys to managing conflict in close quarters is that there is a much more, the ratio of positive to negative is positive to negative. And you can just intentionally do that by just speaking truth and authentic blessing, expressions of gratitude, and the ratio, even if your conflicts don't diminish, the ratio of positive and negative will be such it doesn't feel as bad. So these are suggestions for today. We are all in a situation, we are taking a big pause, a deep breath. Our culture is shifting. My challenge to me, and I share it with you, is what can we do moving forward that is different? Can we create in our homes, because of this break, can I create in my work environment? Can I create in my community something different? That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying that some of the elements that are happening now, increased communication, increased listening, increased interest in stress management, increased charity and generosity, I'm praying that God allows that to continue in our lives. So once again, this is my last Facebook from this page, Facebook Live. I'm going to build Coping with Stress with Dr. Paul and Becky Van Valen as a group. And so I'm going to invite all my friends into that. You invite all your friends into that. People will they'll cut themselves out if they don't like what's going on. And we're really going to invite dialogue. I've been so blessed by your comments. People are sharing scripture with me, and it's all public. You can see these things except for the private conversations and messaging. I'm conversing with people from around the world. So I feel like, we are part of the larger community. Never before in the history, in the last 2,000, 3,000 years at least, has there been something as global, something totally global. There's not a human being. Now that probably isn't true. There probably are some people someplace that don't know anything about this. But the vast majority of the world is now engaged in the same conflict. We have the same enemy. It's a great spiritual metaphor. We all have the same enemy. We shouldn't waste our time hating the Chinese, hating the Italians, hating someone that you just don't like. We have a common enemy. It is the virus. It is, and then theologically you can take that wherever you want. But let's work together. Let's encourage one another to love and good works. So join me next week, and I'll be posting when we get that all together. It won't be every day in this nature. I may be posting lots of stuff, but it may not be at a particular time. But we'll let you know. And again, feel free to comment. I've been really blessed by your both your affirmations and I welcome critical comments as to what we're presenting or suggestions for future dialogue and comments. Becky's going to join me, so she's going to be a great voice. She's a much nicer person than I am. You'll like her, and she'll have things to say that will, particularly, not just address women. It'll be a women's perspective on this. I saw today on the news, and who knows where they get these stats, but 69% of women are afraid to get sick, whereas 56% of men are. So there are different perspectives, and we don't tend to be sexist and biased and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be good to hear from Becky. She's a very good speaker. She's a lovely person, and you'll like her way better than me. So this is all upcoming. Stay in touch. Feel free to communicate. Message is open. I'm not restricting you from communicating to my Facebook page. I'm just saying we're making a shift as we move forward. It'll be a little more organized. I may even get some better lighting out. Who knows? Well, whatever we have time to do. So God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Communicate. Love each other. Bye-bye.